Mary and Peter are looking to buy a new home. They both save $10,000 for their down payment. Between Mary and Peter, they earn $70,000 a year in the US. In this video, I would like to bring a specific example where you can see how purchasing a home could actually help your finances or prevent you from creating wealth in the future. I would like to share with you today this example here in the US so you can learn if you are making a good investment by purchasing a home or if this could be a big mistake if you are not ready. I decided to make this video because I would like to share all this information and I want to help you make the best decisions for your finances. So let's bring to this example this house that is worth almost $300,000 with 3 bedrooms. So this is the monthly cost for this house. Over here you can see the $10,000 down payment, which is a little more than 3% on a 30-year fixed at 6.8%. So this creates a monthly payment of $2,642 a month. If we break this down, this is $1,897 goes to the principal and interest. $99 a month will go to the property tax. $112 will go to home insurance. $285 will go to the HOA fees. And since Mary and Peter did not pay a 20% down payment, they will have to pay mortgage insurance, which is $249 a month. So Mary and Peter are going to pay $2,600 a month, and they provided their savings of $10,000 for their down payment. Looking at the details for this house was built in 1980, so Mary and Peter earn $70,000 a year, making an average of $35,000 each, which is $5,833, which after deductions, taxes, and insurance, they end up receiving take home of $4,375. So can Mary and Peter pay comfortably this house? Let's take a look at their finances. If you take their take home of $4,375 and reduce $2,642 of their mortgage payment every month, and also reduce this amount by a car payment where they share a car with a monthly payment of $500, they also spend $200 in fuel and $100 in insurance. So as you can see, they end with less than $1,000 left for the rest of their expenses. So there are a few issues that I see right here. If you know some of those issues, please enter them in the comments below. Thank you for submitting your comments. As you can see in the example that we listed for Mary and Peter, they can actually pay for this house. But there are some issues that I would like to mention here right now. The issue number 1 is that they only have less than $1,000 for all the other expenses. So we're talking about a cell phone, for their food, their clothing, or any other expense that they may have. The problem number 2 is that they might not have any money extra to save and invest for the future. So this is very concerning and something that you need to think about. The problem number 3 is that they provided the $10,000 they had saved. So they don't have any money left and they barely have any money left at the end of the month. So what happens if the AC breaks? What happens if they need a new roof since this house was built in 1980? What happens if anything else breaks, like a plumbing issue? In reality, they don't have an emergency fund, and this is very worrisome because they are not ready for an emergency. The problem number 4 is what happens if any of them lose their job. They rely on both of their jobs and both of their incomes to pay for this house. So this is something that you need to think about. Many people think that when you rent, you're actually throwing the money to the trash. And sometimes this is not true. So I would like to share a personal example with you today. Many years ago, I was actually renting a brand new apartment that I received from my landlord, which I was paying $1,000 a month. And this was a brand new apartment. So I decided to buy a house because everybody in the US needs to buy a house as part of the American dream. So I ended up with a monthly payment of $2,300 for all my housing expenses. This is without utilities. So that means that I went from paying $1,000 a month to $2,300 a month, which is a $1,300 difference. So what happens if I would have saved that difference instead of buying a home? Let's take a look with these numbers. If I would have invested the $1,300 a month, which is $15,600 a year for 5 years, and I invested this money, let's say in the S&P 500, which generates on average 10% a year, I would have got more than $100,000 in these 5 years. And let's say I decided to save and invest this money for 10 years. I would have got more than 270,000 in those 10 years if I would stay paying rent. So yes, I know many of you are going to say yes, the rents continue to go up for those 10 years, and also the property goes up in value. And that is all true. But many people don't think that from those $2,300 of monthly payment, only $300 or $400 actually goes to the debt, while you're saving and investing $1,300. What I will say in my personal opinion is this. If you are planning to live in a place more than 5 years, just try to save the biggest down payment that you can get. Hopefully 20%. Because with this example that I showed you, just by getting 20% of down payment, you're going to save more than $200 in mortgage insurance. And besides, my recommendation is that you pay less than 25% of your salary in housing, in your mortgage payment. This will allow you to be able to take vacation and also to save some money for an emergency fund. So if anything breaks in your house or something happens to your job, you actually have something to rely on and you will be able to live more comfortably with a peace of mind. So I make all these videos because I want to help you succeed and because I know you're going to have a successful life investing.